pitch state final, please? Thank you for joining us for the annual WiSys Quick Pitch State Final. WiSys is pleased to be in Eau Claire for this event as part of our Spark Symposium. My name is Linda Thomas, and I'm the Intellectual Property and Licensing Regional Associate here at WiSys. Many WiSys programs celebrate student research and innovation. Quick Pitch is one such event, created by WiSys and piloted here at Eau Claire in 2017. The goal of Quick Pitch is to encourage innovative thinking by inspiring students to consider the impact of their research on society and by teaching them how to communicate and share the why behind what they are doing in the classroom and in labs. And so to be able to communicate their research to everyday people, whether that's a banker, a grandmother, or someone that you meet at a party. The WiSys Quick Pitch competition is open to both undergraduate and graduate researchers in any major. If a student is doing research in the area of their passion, WiSys wants to help them share their story and consider the impact of their research findings on society. Throughout the campus Quick Pitch competitions at the regional universities of Wisconsin, plus UW-Madison, we had competitors from sciences, humanities, education, and business. 42 students from 8 universities of Wisconsin worked with their research advisors and community mentors to perfect their pitches and compete against other students from the campus this past spring. Today, we'll hear from students that have qualified to move on to the state final at their campus competition. They'll be competing today for 3 prizes totaling $1,350. So some real money prize here. And this also includes $100 for People Choice Award, which all of you will be voting on. Our participants today will have 3 minutes, no pressure, to impress a panel of judges with their ability to explain the value and impact of their research, after which our judges will have a couple of minutes for questions. Before we begin, I would like to thank our judges. First, we have David Kruger, who is the chair of the WiSys Board of Trustees. Next, we have Jeff Mears, who is the executive director for the Wisconsin Tribal Conservation Advisory Council. And finally, we have Peter Caesar, who is a patent attorney at Royal Frederickson. Thank you all for being here and giving up your time to serve as judges and giving students the opportunity to take home some prizes. So my colleague Sadie and I will be helping to keep everyone on track by keeping time and introducing each of the competitors and their topic of research. And with that, we can get started. So our first presenter is Paxton Nagard, and he is from UW-Claire. And the title of his pitch is Protecting Freedom of Speech at Colleges and Universities. Take it away, Paxton.
During my junior year in high school, I took a political science course and covered controversial topics. When I was given the opportunity to speak, I chose to stay silent. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I feared what would happen if I said it. My name is Paxton Nagard. I'm a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. I majored in business economics with a certificate in legal studies and Planning Law School. My research focuses on protecting freedom of speech at colleges and universities. But today, our students, faculty, and staff are at risk due to the rise of self-censorship in America. Self-censorship is the fear of sharing ideas, beliefs, or opinions due to possible social or institutional backlash. This isn't just theory. Students here often at our university and universities surrounding us hold back their ideas and discussion, conform to dominant opinions of society to avoid backlash, despite our universities promoting open dialogue. Self-censorship undermines diversity and critical thinking and debate within universities. As individuals hold back their ideas, academic environments become more limited, hindering growth and meaningful exchanges between our students, faculty, and staff. In 2023, the UW system conducted a student survey about student views on freedom of speech. 10,445 students actively participated in the survey. Of the 10,445, 6,092 expressed views on controversial topics that other students want a campus space outside the classroom. Within that 6,092 alone, 1,071 faced social consequences, and 171 faced institutional consequences. These numbers reflect that over 1,000 students spoke about their ideas, their beliefs, and their opinions, and they faced backlash from it. This highlights the growing fear in our student bodies, which not only affects students, but also our faculty and staff as well. Freedom of speech is not only affecting a person, but you also see backlash across social media platforms where it's now become widespread, or what you now hear about cancel culture. If speaking up leads to consequences, then silence becomes a safer choice, and that's exactly the issue that needs to be resolved. To address this issue, I propose a campus-based open dialogue program, an organization where our students, faculty, and staff can share their ideas, opinions, and beliefs free of any punishment. By establishing this environment, we can create diversity in our communities, establishing public speaking skills, communication skills, and further enhancing knowledge on our communities. As freedom of speech does not disappear when it is taken away, freedom of speech disappears when people are too afraid to use it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. You mentioned you performed some survey work, and I'd like to know a little more how you formulated your questions for that survey, because these are pretty triggering type of questions, I imagine.
Yes, that's a great question. So far in my research, I started in fall of 2025, my first semester, and as I progressed in my research, I would look at like online reviews, like news articles, literature. And my professor for this project referenced me to the UW system survey, so that's where I saw all that data. And that data was like a 90-page like PDF of like all these scenarios. Like some scenarios were asking the student like, is this speech acceptable or is it unacceptable? Some would be like, have you been in this environment where you felt this way or you faced this type of consequence? And moving forward, I've talked to faculty in the political science department, along with psychology, and I really want to get a research group started, like faculty-student research, because I'm doing something similar to that in my econ department. And step moving forward is to get that research, but also at some point create an organization once I see how everything is functioning here at the Legal Clear course.
Thank you for your topic. It's certainly one of concern to many people, and more as we go forward. Where do you see, what is your next immediate step on this process? Because it's a big topic.
So it is a big process, very broad, and that's why I tell people it's like such a massive thing. And my next steps is to hopefully get that research started. And once I get that research started, I want to build a questionnaire. A questionnaire asking my students certain questions in our today's society. Because this survey done by the UW System 2023, I think they reported the data on like 2021, 2022. That's like 4 years old. And I tell people, I was like, how different is the world since 2021, 2022? Very different. And by gathering that information we get from today, we can create an organization focusing on these new debates and subjects.
Thank you. And does the name Tim Higgins mean anything to you? He's our Regent Emeritus, and if you haven't met and worked with Tim, I'll make the introduction.
Yes, I actually talked to him yesterday. This is card.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Paxton. And so before we go on to our next speaker, I really want to take the time to thank UW Clare for hosting us. We really appreciate your hospitality, and it's been wonderful being here. So UW Clare was actually the location for the very first Quick Pitch competition back in 2015. And the student that won the first Quick Pitch competition ended up presenting to the University of Wisconsin Board of Regents, as Arjun talked about this morning. And that student had such an attention-grabbing introduction that the research is still talked about amongst our There have now been hundreds of students that have participated in Quick Pitch over the years, with so many of them engaging in wonderful research projects. Our next presenter is Sachin Yaga from UW Green Bay, and the title of his Quick Pitch is Campus Catalyst.
As a student, you know which one of your faculty is doing research or what are they researching about. Most of the students doesn't know about that, and that is the gap which I studied. Hello everyone, I'm Sachin. I am a junior at UW Green Bay and majoring in information science minor in entrepreneurship. As a student, I tried to get involved in research at my campus, and I was not able to get it. But I wanted to know whether it was just me or it was a consistent pattern. Then I went in, I designed a survey at my campus, and I got around 130 plus students respond to that survey across all of the majors. And the results were quite surprising, and they were very consistent. 95% of the students were having difficulties to find the research opportunities. 75% were not even involved in any kind of research. And 65% believed that there were more research opportunities, but they didn't know how to find that. And when I asked how they are finding research opportunity, 35% were like email announcement, or 25% were like we don't know where to look for. Together, these findings points to a specific it was not a student discipline problem or motivation problem, and not even the faculty. Faculty had enough researchers. The problem was a connection between faculty and student. We didn't have any platform that would connect student and faculty. And based on these findings, I built a solution, Campus Catalyst. It is launching at UW Green Bay this fall 2026. It is a platform that helps the students connect with faculty. They sign in with their university email. It's a single sign-on. They complete their profile with a short interest form, and it helps them connect with faculty. It gives them their personal AI advisor that navigates them, that finds them their faculty advisor, faculty mentor, that drafts outreach email for them, and that tells them if there's any skills they should learn to enhance their profile. And research is something a student should get, like that helps them do their graduation, that helps them go to a good grad school. And I opened up by asking a question like, do you know which professor is doing research? And most of these students didn't know at my campus. So that is something I'm working on, and I hope that I get answer for that when I launch Campus Catalyst at Green Bay. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation. How soon do you see you'll be able to take this app and put it in place on your campus? I know it's.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
How soon will you have this app up and running?
In a month, it will be available from the first day of our fall semester, September 2nd. That is the first day of the class. So that will be the day it will be public for all of the students at our campus.
And how many professors will you expect to have on by that time? I know it looked like yesterday when we were talking through that at your poster that you're going to start, but it's going to take some time to get them all in.
Right now, we already have all of our professors on the platform. Like we have 271 professors in the platform, but they will still have to verify their profile and complete it, like for their research focus area, what are their availability, what are their office hours. So that is something professors would have to work on, and they'll just upload their CV and it will get all of the data from here. So they don't have to do a lot of things, but we are still reaching out to all of the professors to look at their profile in the platform. So we still have all of the professors in our platform.
Do you anticipate that the app is then going to allow both parties to start to consider each other's opportunities? The students perhaps identify which research opportunities they prefer, and of course the research directors would want to know which one of the candidate students they like to select for.
We have a research portal in our app where faculty can upload their research opportunity, so they can advertise for students, and it even matches the student with that research opportunities. Like if you are a student in computer science major, and if there's a research over there, so you get notified about that. Like it matches your profile, you can apply. Thank you.
Thank you, Saksham. With a room full of students, I want to take this opportunity to remind students of the WiSys Ambassador Program, which is available to all students at the University of Wisconsin, except for Madison, Milwaukee. This is a great opportunity for students where you work 5 to 10 hours a month promoting WiSys services, and then you can apply for grant funding towards your research project in the future. So I would encourage all of you to apply. The WiSys ambassadors receive training in intellectual property, as well as the technology transfer process, and learn how to access resources offered by WiSys and other campus organizations designed to support technology development and entrepreneurship activity. So again, check out our website for more information. And again, we really encourage many of you to apply. Our next presenter is Kavya Sawarji from UW La Crosse, and the title of her quick pitch is Where to Act Next, Predicting and Prioritizing Deer Vehicle Collisions in Wisconsin.
First of all, I would like to ask you all to imagine you are driving down the Wisconsin highway at night. Suddenly, a deer jumps in your lane. You hit the brakes, but it's too late. Unfortunately, this isn't a rare event. Across the U.S., over 1.7 million animal vehicle collisions insurance claims are happening every year. In Wisconsin, 17,000 deer vehicle collisions happened in 2024, with 700 injuries and 900 fatalities and the loss of thousands of deer. Hi everyone, my name is Kavya Sarvoji. I'm from UW La Crosse, and I worked on this project on the back of the company truck. So when I first looked into this research, what I understand is that the transportation agencies already know where these collisions are happening, but what they really need is when will the next crash going to happen. Also, there is another challenge is that they do not have unlimited budget, so they need the highest risk locations. So that's when I contacted the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, and I applied the 8 years of air vehicle collision data. I did the data cleaning and prepared the data set, and then I tried with multiple machine learning models, and then so the machine learning models use patterns to understand where and when collisions occur. So the models understand the patterns like here in this location, is this crashes happened recently? Is it happened like 3 months ago? Is it happened during the same season last year? So that's how we compare the multiple machine learning models based upon the performance, but then we select the best machine learning model performance, that is the XGBoost model with 99.97% accuracy. So by that we noticed that it was not just predicting the highest risk collisions. So what we did, we developed a framework with 3 main goals. Our first goal is to do the hotspot prediction, identifying the highest deer vehicle collision most likely to occur. Second, the budget planning, helping the transportation agencies plan, they can use their limited resources in an effective way. Third is the future forecasting, identifying new hotspots so the agencies can act before these collisions can occur. So that's how, at that point, we wanted to compare our framework with the traditional current process using the traditional roadmaps. So that's when what we found is that 376 additional crashes were found. In total, 10,497 crashes, like a rear vehicle collision, like a future collision places locations were found. So that's how the transportation agencies can use their limited resources in an effective way, like putting the road signs or the wide crossings or and some other improvements as well. So this research got accepted at IEEE Global Humanitarian Technology Technology Conference this year. And this research is mainly focusing on Wisconsin, but this framework can be used in other regions as well. And so as of now, so our project is not just a project that it's not just a prediction project. So it's about save people and wildlife and make the reduce road crashes and property damages and the lesser insurance cost, and make our roads safer for safer for everyone. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation. Talk about something that it's near and dear to everyone's heart in Wisconsin. So, yeah, that's the love of it. Thank you.
With your research, will it change your driving habits, time of day or place?
So one thing what I noticed yesterday when I was traveling from La Crosse to Eclair with my professor, so we have been talking about this deer crossing the roads. So we personally saw so many deers on both the sides of the roads and crossing the roads as well. So we have to be very cautious. It was in the early morning. Also, it's very cloudy and foggy as well. So, but we couldn't see any of the road signs like warnings, like wildlife warnings or the deer crossing signs and all. So that's when we noticed that the importance of this research. And my professor, he really wanted me to mention this when I was talking, explaining at my poster yesterday.
Thank you, Claudia. Claudia actually got connected to WiSys through our Innovation On-Ramp program last fall. And so Innovation On-Ramp is a 5-week Canvas course with live or virtual workshops that teaches students how to think about new ideas and turn them into reality to make a difference in their communities. Students, I would encourage you to think about participating this coming fall in order to earn an innovative thinking badge that you can put on your resume and show employers that you know how to think innovatively. Faculty, please encourage your students to participate. In the past, some faculties have even offered some extra credit. I know students love extra credit. So for our next speaker, I'm going to help welcome to the stage Anita Robertson. And so she is from UW Parkside, and the title of her pitch is Empowering Milwaukee's Youth, a Strategic Model for Community-Based Mentorship.
Imagine being 18, you're excited, you got into the college that you want to go to, you picked out your dorm room, you picked out your meal plan, and you're ready to go to school and start this new journey. And boom, you're stopped in your tracks over a piece of paper. This is exactly what happened to me. I'm Miss Anita. My mother died when I was 2 months old. So once I got accepted to UW Parkside, I needed to do my FAFSA. In order to be an independent student, I needed my birth certificate and my mother's death certificate. So I traveled around Milwaukee for about 2 weeks just to get the paper to be able to go to school. This is a hurdle that a lot of children in the system in Milwaukee face. 50% of those children are in non-family homes. There are 30% will become homeless. To combat this problem, what I began to do is I began to study. And so I came up with the Lifeline Mentorship Program. This program has 3 steps. The first step is the prevention program. It's a prevention step. This is for children ages 10 to 13. During this time, children are in child care, and you can start getting their digital profile ready that they can have for when they age out of child care. So that can be their medical records, as well as their birth certificates, their social security numbers, and things they need once they age out of childcare. At the age of 14, children in Wisconsin, not just Milwaukee, they age out of childcare, which means now they're most likely looking for summer jobs or just looking for a job after school. In order to get a job, what do you need? Your birth certificate and another form of ID. Since we have already started in the first step to get those digital things ready, they are ready to start a job. During this 14 to 17-year-old phase, what we will do is continue to mentor with the children, continue to collect not only their educational files, their personal files, but also their medical files. Because once you turn 18 and you decide to get a job, you decide to go to college, they start asking about medical history. So we don't just drop them off at 17. Once they turn 18, the last phase is between 18 and 21, where we are starting to do their professional development. Whether they're going into programs, whether it's a job readiness program, it's helping with housing, or it's helping to go to college. But since we have a digital platform that we have graded since they were 10, it will be an easier process. In Milwaukee, we have places like Next Generation Youth Development Center that helps you get children out of the system. There's places like Well Point that also will help you get the children into the digital platform. With that being said, the Lifeline platform is there to bridge the gap for children that are coming out of the system and becoming adults. Because what we don't want is them to be stopped by a piece of paper.
See, that's fantastic. I love all of these ideas. Are you also thinking about ways to make awareness more prevalent in the neighborhoods that parents should start this digital program way ahead?
Yes, well, I'm from Milwaukee. I work in Milwaukee. I actually I own the youth center in Milwaukee. So this is one of the reasons why I started. The children were aging out of our programs, and they were looking for jobs, and so I created a job system for them. So I actually started an internship already. So the children that are 14 to 17 who cannot find, other jobs in the city, they actually come to me and they work. And so I learned so much because a lot of them did not know social security number. They did not have an ID. They're getting their IDs and their social security numbers and their copies of their birth certificates for the first time through our program. And so that's one way that I'm spreading awareness, because I'm actually doing it.
Is there a way to work with some umbrella agency to take this much more broadly than centers of Milwaukee? It sounds like an amazing program.
Well, since I also have a licensed child care center, we can work with DCF, which is the Department of Children and Family Services. That will be like a great start. Right now, I am focused on what I can do right now with just DPME, which is the mentorship program, and at least getting them the jobs and getting their paperwork in it together, and also teaching them how to fill out the proper paperwork so they can have direct deposits, so they can have bank accounts and things like that.
DCFS would be a good place to work, and you might also want to touch base with Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, because there's a job-related piece of this, and they may be also willing to help you do some things for you to expand it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anita. I want to, again, if you haven't noticed the pattern, but really trying to use this time to inform students of the different ways they can get involved with WiSys and take advantage of our services that we provide. So students, if you participated in your Canvas or the at-large quick pitch competition, make sure to take advantage of the research communication badge that you earned. It's an easy way to add it to your LinkedIn or mention it on your resume. The badge helps show your connections and employers that you have really learned how to communicate effectively and make complex information more accessible. It can also help you talk about skills that you've acquired and learned during a job interview. So I know some of you guys are graduating, so again, take advantage of this. Okay, so for our next presenter from UW Stout is Claudria Pearl Dusau, and the title of her quick pitch is Comparative Analysis of Meltability and Stretchability in Traditional and Plant-Based Cheeses.
Have you ever tried to order a burger with vegan cheese at a restaurant? Chances are they don't have such an option, or by a miracle, if they do, it just doesn't hit the spot. Hello everybody, my name is Calvida Pearl de Souza, and I'm a graduate student in food science and technology from the University of Wisconsin-Stout. A whopping 30% of all of the cheese in the US is produced in Wisconsin. However, the same cannot be said about the vegan cheese industry. Sure, you can find some options in the supermarket, but they have some key issues. Number one, compared to traditional dairy cheeses, they are not as nutritionally balanced. Commercial vegan cheeses tend to have a high fat and carbohydrate content and little to no protein. Number two, they do not have the best flavor and taste. Some of them can also have strange aftertastes. And number three, they lack the distinct ooey gooey cheese pull that we expect from a well-made grilled cheese. Now, why does this matter? Well, people can choose not to consume dairy cheese for multiple reasons. It could be health concerns, like lactose intolerance, high cholesterol, or ethical and sustainability reasons. Bottom line is, there is space for new contenders in the vegan cheese market. My research directly addresses these concerns by attempting to develop a vegan cheese that has a sufficient amount of protein and also behaves similarly to traditional dairy cheese by producing stretchy cheese strands. So this developed vegan recipe is a soy and potato protein blend which provides 10% of protein per serving. Coconut oil is the primary fat source, and tapioca and cornstarch are the carbohydrate sources. Melt tests have shown that this developed vegan cheese melted just as well as dairy cheeses, but stretchability tests have shown that this developed vegan cheese stretched 50% more than commercially available vegan cheeses. Physically, this developed vegan cheese is like a semi-hard cheese, kind of like a provolone or a cheddar, and it holds its shape, it has a bouncy texture, and is easily sliceable. So in its current form, this developed vegan cheese outperforms commercial vegan cheeses in terms of nutritional content and stretchability, making it a viable option for consumers who are looking for a plant-based alternative for traditional cheese without having to compromise on quality or health. In the future, I'd like to develop its flavor and stability so that it has an appealing taste and can stay fresh for longer. So a vegan grilled cheese will no longer be unachievable, but unapologetically flavorful. Thank you.
Say, thanks so much. I understand people's attitudes. It's pretty clear when they try these products, but do you have input from industry participants themselves, or do you have any target current products that you might be modeling after saying they're pretty close, they're doing well, but not quite there?
I was looking at some stuff online. I don't have any industry input as such, but I did look up, like while I was doing, market research, yes. So there are some companies that do have like a high protein alternative, but they don't really focus on the grilled cheese aspect or like the stretchy aspect of the cheese. So I think that that is an innovation that I'm bringing to the table.
Thank you for that. Taking impossible meat to impossible cheese, and I'm wondering if you could be willing to use any of us as test samples for some grilled cheese.
I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caldria. And to kind of continue the theme of thinking, I really want to take this time to thank again to our sponsors for this year's Spark Symposium. So if you'd all help me to give a huge thanks for our sponsors. And a round of applause to Royal Frederickson, Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation, University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, the Universities of Wisconsin, the Eau Claire Materials and Science and Engineering Center, and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. So please give our sponsors a round of applause. Our final presenter is Sabrina Wolf from UW-Whitewater, and the title of her quick pitch is Comparison of Mesoscale Conditions in Tornado Events.
By a quick show of hands, who here has seen the movie Twisters? Okay, we've got about half. Well, my name is Sabrina Wolf, and I'm a scientific storm chaser and researcher, not the tornado wrangler played by Glenn Powell, who drives into a tornado to watch fireworks. Throughout a 2-week field course offered at UW-Whitewater, I tracked severe weather produced by thunderstorms across the Great Plains. Not just for the thrill, but to understand what drives their formation, and to break down scientific storm chasing for public education. Scientific storm chasers often get a bad rap in society. There are influencers and movies that portray storm chasers poorly because it's done disrespectfully or unsafely. My research showcases how storm chasing plays a vital role in public safety by confirming severe weather events in real time. Policymakers don't want storm chasing to happen. Some are even considering banning it. And so, that's what my research is going to aim at. So the goal is really just to reduce the negative stigma that surrounds it by creating an ArcGIS story map that focuses on producing the storm chasing experience and breaking down what it is. So I followed our progress throughout the trip and how we forecast and followed and tracked the storms throughout the day. Something really unique about this trip was how many severe weather events we encountered. The most significant being an EF2 mile-wide tornado. Another day, we encountered 13 landspout tornadoes. These are small, short-lived storms lasting typically less than 5 minutes. They're much harder to warn for because they don't show up on radar for long, and storm chasers play an important role in confirming their existence. On the flip side, unethical storm chasers are just seeking the thrill, not so much helping to warn the public. Another hazard we encountered was 5.5-inch or baseball cap size hail. This is very important for warning the public because that's dangerous, but also damage assessments after the fact because insurance companies can be very difficult. So, in short, scientific storm chasing plays a very important part of the warning process for communities in danger. So, next time you receive an emergency alert, rest assured because there are scientists watching and forecasting the storm to keep you as safe as possible. And remember, don't be a Midwestern dad or tornado wrangler. Listen to meteorologists and stay inside. Thank you.
You had mentioned that the policymakers might be one of your major hurdles here. Do you have any inclinations as to what information, if anything, might make them feel better about this, like perhaps certification or training that goes along with the act of getting all this valuable data?
Absolutely. So just to preface storm chasing, so for some people, the real issue is people driving through towns at breakneck speeds, causing traffic backups on interstates, just making unsafe driving conditions, and also in an emergency like a tornado, there's going to be emergency personnel coming to the area to respond, and if there's more cars and traffic in the area, it can make it more difficult. So something that the policymakers are worried about is that safety aspect, which I fully am on board with. But the issue is how to issue those licenses and what qualifications you need. I'm not qualified to be a meteorologist. I don't claim to know everything about forecasting. But the point of this trip was to learn more about it and get my foot in the door. So they need to be very specific when making these policies to allow for educational purposes, to allow enough flexibility between states, because storms don't follow any jurisdiction boundaries at all. So, yep.